Are you an international student that wishes to stay in the UK for your career? You're probably worried, how can I do that if I don't have any work experience? Well, in this video, I give you the strategy on how to get a job in the UK with a visa sponsorship, even if you have little or no work experience. Hello everyone, I'm Valeria and I'm an education and career consultant for international students in the UK. On my YouTube channel, I share tips and advice on studying and working in the UK. Throughout my career, I've talked to hundreds, perhaps thousands of international students, and a very common topic that comes up is how can I stay in the UK for my career even if I don't have any work experience? I'll be honest, it's much easier to get a job in the UK if you actually have relevant experience, even if it is from your home country. But it is also possible if you're a fresher, if you have no experience. Actually, I have done it back in 2015. I got a graduate job even though I had no professional experience, only part-time jobs. And many of my clients get jobs in UK even without relevant experience. So it is possible, and without wasting any more time, let's get to the actual advice I want to share with you today. The first advice I would give to anyone who is a fresher and wants to get a job in the UK after their studies is to get experience outside your course. I know it seems like a silly advice to get a job without experience, get experience, but I don't mean get professional experience. I mean do something outside your course. I don't want your CV to be empty with just your bachelor's or master's or school grades. It has to have something. First of all, consider getting a part-time job. Not only it will pay the bills, but also it will improve your CV. And there are a lot of students who do jobs as sales assistants or work in a restaurant, and it does help them strengthen the CV. Obviously, you'll have to explain your experience in the right way for it to contribute to your profile, but it does help having any job in the UK, even if it is a part-time role. Then obviously there are many things you can do outside your course, such as leadership, volunteering, and part-time jobs at university. It will also help you with interviewing, with applying for jobs, because you'll have to bring a lot of examples of different situations from your life, and they don't have to be from professional work experience. They can be from a volunteering project or from leadership project, for example, running a society or working in society as a member. If you've spent 3 years as a bachelor student in the UK and you haven't done anything outside your course, you will struggle to stand out. Just to give you an example, I had a volunteering experience in my CV, I had a leadership experience, I was a president of society and I was a treasurer of another society, and obviously I had several part-time jobs. So if you didn't have a chance to secure professional experience or internship even back in your home country, you don't have an excuse why you didn't get any volunteering or leadership experience on your CV. Advice number 2 is to develop technical skills outside your course. What do I mean by that? Even though we are studying relevant degree to the job we want to do, sometimes we lack technical skills. For example, ability to work in Excel, ability to use different softwares, programming skills, analytical skills, and so on. So if you already know the job you wish to have, perhaps you can read the job descriptions and see what kind of technical abilities are valued. Maybe you need to do certain formulas on Excel, maybe you need to be good at AutoCAD or Revit software if you're an engineer, or if you're a marketing student, perhaps you need to be good at Google Analytics or running Facebook ads and so on. So if you already know the career path, I would really recommend brushing up on your technical abilities. I don't recommend spending a lot of money on this type of certificates, but perhaps there are certain free ones or anything offered by a university. But also you can learn a lot of these things on your own using YouTube, on internet. At least when you're interviewing, you'll have the technical ability, even if it wasn't taught well at university or it wasn't taught in depth at university. The mistake here would be to try to learn all the software without knowing which career you want to pursue. In that case, you'll waste a lot of time trying to figure out how to use engineering software, even though you want to be a business analyst. So it's only for people that already know the direction of their career. Technical skills will be valued at interview stage. They will be looked at on your CV, but also when you start working, you'll pick up things much quicker when you already know how to use certain things. Advice number 3 is try to get an internship in the UK. There are different types of internships in the UK. The ideal situation for international students is probably to go for a summer internship in a corporation or a company that sponsors international students. So these firms actually have quite a lot of internship programs, which means they bring on a student for 10 or 12 weeks in the summer. If they perform, they'll make them an offer for a full-time job, and you don't have to apply for a full-time job during your final year. It's quite convenient. This is actually what happened to me. I did an internship in an investment bank and I got a job offer based on performance in my internship. So how do you get that internship? You have to apply for this internship usually in your penultimate year. What does it mean? It means that the year before last year. So not your final year of study, but the year before your final year of study. So for bachelor students, it is usually the second year if it is a 3-year course. For a master's student, it could be a final year of bachelor's degree. Obviously, you have to check with the company what are the entry requirements, and if you're lucky, you'll get the internship and your job offer will be sorted before you even graduate. Obviously, if you don't get a job offer or if the company doesn't sponsor international students, it's still amazing to get this internship on your CV because it will really strengthen your profile. To get this type of internship that I have just described, reminding you that you have to start applying in the beginning of your second year or penultimate year of study, and not all master's students are eligible for this type of internship. Sometimes it's just for people that are doing a bachelor's degree. And if you're not eligible for this type of internship, there are many other internships you can consider. For example, there are other companies that offer off-cycle internships, so you can start it during the winter time. And there are other internships offered for people that are already graduated, so you don't have to be a bachelor student when you apply to this type of internship. Keep in mind that sometimes these internships will be offered by a company that does not sponsor. Maybe the company does not offer a permanent role eventually, but it's still a good experience to get because it'll be easier to get a permanent role or a full-time role if you already have some kind of internship. And it's easier to get an internship than a full-time role. The summary of this advice is try to get UK experience even after you graduate and you're looking for a full-time role. Perhaps it's better just go for an internship first and then transfer to a full-time role if you can't get the full-time role straight away. Before we move to my next advice, I wanted to invite you to my free training for international students. It is an online lecture that you can watch at a time convenient for you, and in this lecture I share my strategy on how to get a sponsored job in the UK if you are an international student. So it's completely free to watch. Just register using the link in description of my video. This training is part of my paid program, Get Hired in the UK, that I specifically created for international students. My online course, Get Hired in the UK, covers everything you need to know to get a job in the UK, step-by-step approach, starting from writing a CV, a cover letter, LinkedIn profile, ending with acing interviews and visa negotiations. If you want to check out the course, the link is also in the description of my video. But if you're not sure if you want to join the course yet, I recommend registering for the free training because you can also get a discount on my paid program. Advice number 4 is apply for graduate schemes. And I have the whole video about what is a graduate scheme and how it differs from other jobs, and I'll have a link somewhere here so you can check it out. But to give you a summary, the graduate job is a specifically designed job for a graduate without experience, and usually that involves some kind of training or maybe a professional qualification. And to apply for these positions, you don't need to have any work experience. Actually, for a lot of these roles, the requirement is that you don't have any work experience. So that's good news. And another good news is that a lot of these graduate schemes are offered by the companies that sponsor international students. The big sponsors that will pay for your visa, and you can switch to skilled worker visa straight after your degree. That's exactly the role I got. I got the graduate scheme in human resources. But we talked about the good news, but there are also a lot of things to consider when it comes to graduate schemes. First of all, you have to apply for them in advance. So a lot of the graduate schemes start in September, and if you want to get a September, let's say 2023 start, I advise applying as soon as the doors open for applications, which is usually summer 2022 or autumn 2022. The second thing to consider is that they are very competitive. It's not impossible to get through. A lot of international students do it, a lot of my clients done it, I've done it, but it is a long process. You'll need to have a lot of energy to prepare for each stage. You'll be rejected at various stages and you'll feel drained. And also you'll have to prepare for each stage. So each stage will require different preparation. If you are someone who hates online tests or being timed, you might struggle because a lot of these graduate schemes involve some kind of online testing in the beginning of the application. I think it is a great option for a lot of international students, but at the same time, I think that it's not for everyone because of the long application process and also because you have to apply in advance. But the other thing that is great about graduate schemes is that master's students are often eligible to apply. So if you're a master's student without experience, you can apply for these graduate schemes. And also if you're already graduated but you have, let's say, less than 2 years of work experience, you can also apply for these graduate schemes. You don't have to be a student most of the time to apply. Obviously, read the entry requirements to find out whether you're eligible, but I've noticed that most graduate schemes say you have to have 0 to 2 years of relevant work experience, and you can either still be a student or you can already be graduated or already graduated. So in summary, there are specifically designed jobs for graduates without experience that get sponsored for a skilled worker visa in the UK. Advice number 5 is to apply for junior positions or entry-level jobs. These type of positions are usually open when the business needs someone young or in terms of experience or junior in terms of experience, as there is a business need to hire someone and to train them. Usually these roles don't require a lot of experience, or maybe they'll require up to 2 years of experience, and they are usually open for immediate start date. You don't have to apply in advance for these roles. You have to read the job description to find out whether the particular role needs a particular experience, but usually it's quite easier to find if you put things like graduate or junior in a job title, or if you just filter out by experience level. The good thing about these jobs, as I said, you don't have to apply in advance, and also the process is usually easier. There are no line assessments and the process moves quicker, and you might get to speak to the person at the first stage. You don't have to do a lot of online assessments. But the downside is that sometimes it's hard to know whether the company will sponsor. And because a lot of roles will be offered by small to medium-sized firms where it's not clear in the job description whether sponsorship is offered. And also these roles are not always super skilled or super high paid. Sometimes the companies are reluctant to sponsor as well, even if they have a license. So this moves me very naturally to my final advice: be flexible and use your graduate visa wisely. Well, as I said, you can be applying for some entry-level positions or junior roles in a firm, and sometimes the companies will not be super eager to sponsor you. Well, first of all, it's expensive and you don't have any work experience, they're not sure about your performance, so they are probably thinking, okay, we're not ready to sponsor you yet. In that case, you'll have to come in and just say, well, I'm still on student visa. I can work for you part-time or full-time for a few months to prove my performance, and then maybe you'll consider to sponsor me. Or you can actually use the graduate visa to get experience to prove to the company that you are eligible for a sponsorship and you're worthy of a sponsorship. So I do have some clients who, when they have interview, when they get asked, do you need a visa? They said, yes, I need a visa, and that's it. They don't give the employer an option to work on a student visa or to work on a graduate visa for some time. So if you are struggling to get a full-time role with visa sponsorship straight away, consider go on a graduate visa or work on your student visa for a bit to prove as a company that you're worthy of a sponsorship, or to gain some experience and then to apply for a company that will be able to sponsor you. I know that some people think that the graduate visa is not the most attractive option, but if you don't have work experience and you haven't got a graduate scheme, you haven't got an internship, and you are applying for all these entry-level jobs and you keep hearing, no, we don't sponsor, then graduate visa could be a really great way to strengthen your profile, to win more time and convince someone to sponsor you. This was quite a quick video of advice of how to get a job in the UK without any experience. This video is just for international students, as you know, and if you need more in-depth strategies, then don't forget about my free training. The link is in the description of this video. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like. If you have any questions, make sure you ask in the comments, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I share tips and advice as well. Thank you so much. Best of luck from my Grad. Bye!